This is according to a well-informed source speaking to Al Jazeera's Ali Hashem that heavy gunfire was heard near Bandar Abbas after the IRGC targeted a vessel. U.S. fighter jets then struck IRGC naval boats. This source also says that several IRGC naval personnel were killed and that the situation is still very much unfolding. All right, that is the Iranian side of the story. For the American side, we're going to go to Washington now, where our chief U.S. correspondent Alan Fisher is standing by. So, Alan, what are the Americans saying about this?
Well, this statement coming from U.S. CENTCOM Central Command, which of course coordinates the operations in and around Iran, that coming in the last few minutes. They have said that they carried out in the last 24 hours what they describe as self-defense strikes to protect U.S. troops from threats posed by Iranian forces. They say that they attacked missile launch sites and also Iranian boats. They were defending the forces while using a great deal of restraint in the face of attacks from the Iranians. And they say that no one on the United States side has been injured. Now, you remember there have been a number of skirmishes like this, particularly just after the start of the ceasefire. At that time, Donald Trump said he didn't consider these to be a breach of the ceasefire, that they were too minor, that no one had lost any lives on the American side. I suspect that as the negotiations are ongoing, the approach and the attitude may well be the same from the Oval Office, that these skirmishes are to be expected, but the United States did what they had to do to defend their forces in the region.
Alan, how out of the ordinary is this compared to some of these skirmishes that we have seen before? Obviously, a lot of people are watching closely these negotiations between the Iranians and the Americans, which may well be in their final stages. And surely there's a lot of worry in Washington that this could derail things.
Well, of course, we're working on very, very limited information, particularly coming from the United States side. We don't know the extent of the operation, how long it was carried out for, how many troops were involved. All of those things remain hidden from us for the time being, although there is the possibility that we'll get more information as the hours go on. So it's hard to say whether this is unusual. There have been a number of skirmishes. Clearly, Donald Trump is keen to move forward with the negotiations to try and get to a peace deal. We're constantly told by those in and around the White House that the deal is 95% there. But of course, it could be 99.9% there until it's actually signed. There is no deal. Now, we were told that Donald Trump was going to launch an attack exactly a week ago today, you'll remember. But he decided to delay that because of the intervention largely of the Gulf cooperation countries and asked them to hold off. And he said he was just an hour away from ordering the strike, which would have started 1 week tomorrow. These things are largely considered minor irritations, particularly when there's no loss of life that's been reported on the United States side. And so they will still be keen to push forward with the negotiations. This will be seen as a small hurdle, but not something that could absolutely derail the peace talks at this stage.
We will be watching closely. Al Jazeera's Alan Fisher for us there at the White House. Alan, please keep us posted.